let's talk about Emiratization. We are hiring them, but we are not really including and hiring them. We're just hiring them, right? It's a transactional process. There is no inclusion. Do you see that happening everywhere?
It's everywhere, right? Whether it's Emirati or, the youngsters who are fresh out of the graduate. And I think it's a global issue that people talk about Gen Z talent, right? It is our job to understand the human community, culture, and values, because that is where I see something that disconnect. I'll give you an example. In one of the organizations I worked for, this fresh graduate came up to me and she told me, Meshael, I don't think my manager likes me. I said, why? I tell him salam alaikum, I tell him good morning, he doesn't reply back. And he just walked by me, he doesn't even look at me in the eye. I was like, okay. He doesn't give me tasks, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. So I feel I'm being discriminated amongst my peers.
Yeah.
Okay. Went to the line manager, spoke to him. He said, no, I'm just afraid that she might get offended because I was told to never look at an Emirati woman.
Wow.
So some people get the wrong information as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that small, that small incident can create a big friction.
We haven't trained our organizations to handle people who are coming in. Hi, welcome to TidyTalks, everybody. This is our first episode of TidyTalks. When the founders and I were talking, it's like we should start recording more podcasts, more human. We don't want to just sound very AI, that everything in Tidy Hire is AI. So we said, let's do TidyTalks. And the idea was that we want to bring in guests who basically will connect with the right people. And we want the right things to happen for the HR and its fraternity, not just from the internal HR, but also for the candidates and also for the hiring managers, every persona that's included in an hiring life cycle, right? So that's why Tidy Talks was born, so that we could have bold conversations and give this to everybody. So welcome to our first episode, and I'm really honored to have my friend, my sister, a colleague that we've worked together. We've been part of so many communities and we've done so much of great work. Meshael, welcome.
Thank you so much, Javeed. It's an honor to be the first guest for your Tidy Talk,
I don't think I would have done this without anybody else. You were the first one who came to my mind and said, let's do it, right? So
Thank you so much. And I hope that this first episode will be very useful and very informative for our community.
Inshallah.
Whether, inshallah, it's going to be the HR fraternity, as you call it, the community, the HR managers, the hiring managers, as well as the candidates here in the UAE or also in the Middle East and everywhere else.
Absolutely. So when I was looking and saying, what do we do and how do we go about doing this? The first thing that I thought about is, let's talk about Emiratization.
Yes.
And when I was looking and designing everything, the first thing that we came to my mind is, we are hiring them, but we're not really including and hiring them. We're just hiring them, right? It's a transactional process. And you ran this beautiful, wonderful survey, which we are going to talk about. But there was one thing that stuck in my head, right? And it felt like, I'm an employee, I got hired, and I'm attending my first team meeting. Everybody's talking everything. Everybody feels like they've been here for 20 years. Nobody's even explaining what's happening to me. Imagine what I'm going through. That's what an Emirati who's just joined the private sector is going through every day. That there is no inclusion. There is no, how do I imagine that person's life, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to start with that. Do you see that happening everywhere?
It's everywhere, right? Whether it's Emirati or, the youngsters who are fresh out of the graduate. And I think it's a global issue that people talk about Gen Z talent, right? But if we go back to my research specifically, what is happening, because the word Emiratization, what rings a bell? Compliance. Yeah. I need to meet the target to avoid paying X amount of fee to the government,
correct,
right? So what happens is reactive hiring. Just bring people in the door. But this poor candidate and this poor talent who is Emirati, who enters the door, doesn't know what's waiting for him on the other side of the door.
True.
Right? And no one is ready to actually receive them. In my actual research, I've noticed there's a lot of organization who did mass hiring of fresh grads or young talents, but the manager or the hiring department doesn't even know that, oh, this is our new joiner. So there's no even formal introduction or orientation. So you can just imagine that person coming in feeling like, I am in a place where I'm unwanted. People doesn't know about me because they don't even know what's my clear role.
True.
Right? So this is an ongoing issue, and I think the UAE and maybe in the GCC as well, because nationalization is in every GCC country,
Correct.
right? And I think people are just focusing on hiring, but then they forget the other process, the rest of the life cycle of an employee.
Yeah.
Right.
What does good look like? So, for example, if you are the head of HR for that company, and yes, you have to hire Emiratis as part of the nationalization quota, and yeah, June is coming up, right? So, the first half of the year quota is going to come up. Now, everybody in that rush that, oh, wait, let's get them done, let's get them hired, and so on and so forth. What does good look like for an Emirati hiring, or how does a good HR team handle this? Yes, getting them interviewed, getting them hired and offered is one process, but is that the good part or comes later? How does a good look like according to you as an HR leader?
What does good look like will be in every cycle in the HR process, right? But I don't want to be like, this is exclusive for Emiratis. Right? Open all the roles for Emirati talents, because we have Emirati in every different field, every different seniority. It doesn't mean we're going to meet the quota just because we hire people at the fresh grad or entry level.
Right.
You have mid-level, you have senior level. What's wrong with you, right?
Nobody's looking, actually.
But no, people are not looking, and they always say budget. So if you want to start right, then make sure when you're doing your manpower plan, it's budgeted for the right role. Right? And it's open for Emirati hire if they have specific nationalization benefits. Right?
Yeah.
But you need to open the door to all positions, not limit them to certain position and then figure it out how to deal with them.
Yeah.
Now, that is the hiring part. Now, the second part is, especially in my research, so we surveyed more than 100 people. And guess what? Over 90% of the line managers of an Emirati talent are expats.
You're right.
So one thing that we need to include, which is something I say it's ignored at any HR practices. Some maybe do it good, some doesn't do it good. The onboarding and orientation. When I say orientation, it's not about, oh, this is the company culture, this is our corporate values. No, something that we call culture integration, cultural awareness, right? A lot of expats, they don't understand the Emirati culture, right? So when this Emirati talent come, because the line manager, let's say he's an expat, the talent is an Emirati, they both have different set of values, different set of mindset, different communication style, different management style, where sometimes they don't look eye to eye, and that impacts the relationship. Now, if that manager doesn't understand the culture, how can they operate in the country where the citizen is the priority to work in the organization?
Correct.
Right?
Very true.
You say, okay, expat come here for like a honeymoon period of 2 years, leave the country. We know that. Yeah. They come here 2, becomes 5, become 10, become 50. So if you're here for 50 years, how many actually of them understand the Emirati culture? It's not about the desert. It's not about, oh, this is how you give dates, or this is the UAE national holiday.
Correct.
Right? It is our job to understand the human community culture and values, because that is where I see sometimes the disconnect. I'll give you an example. In one of the organizations I worked for, this fresh graduate came up to me and she told me, Meshael, I don't think my manager likes me. I said, why? I tell him salam alaikum, I tell him good morning, he doesn't reply back. And he just walked by me, he doesn't even look at me in the eye. I was like, okay. He doesn't give me tasks, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. So I feel I'm being discriminated amongst my peers.
Yeah.
Okay. Went to the line manager, spoke to him. He said, no, I'm just afraid that she might get offended because I was told to never look at an Emirati woman.
Wow. Okay.
So some people get the wrong information as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that small, that small incident can create a big friction.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. So that brings me to another question, to a follow-up. We've been pushing so hard on hiring, but we haven't trained our organizations to handle people who are coming in, which is absolutely a different culture and a different ball game altogether, right? That begs to, like, that manager who's been told he's doing what he has learned being in our country, where he's like, okay, I can't make an eye contact with a woman.
Yes.
Or an Emirati woman, and poor lady who has not been told that she can't do this, she's feeling discriminated. Oh man, I mean, see, look, that's just that one example opens so much, right?
Yes.
Now, about you. You're a founder and a CEO of your own company right now. MashaAllah, Mabruk, right?
Thank you.
I think pretty much we started our entrepreneur journey very close by to each other, but yes. You've been at Nakheel. Mm-hmm. And you've also a certified index occupational assessor, right? And then you worked in some amazing brands, but you've always focused on that inclusivity, haven't you?
Yes.
One of the profiles, when I was doing a little bit of a research, you took your NPS score to 9.6 out of 10, something like that.
Yes.
And I'm like, how did she achieve it? So why is inclusivity such a dear topic to you?
At the end of the day, when you say human resources, what is the key word? Human.
Yeah.
Right? And in my role being in HR, I'm not the police of the organization.
Right.
I perform my role on how to deal human with human values.
Right.
Just like how mother nurture their kids to be ready to face the world, right? Sometimes some people, some mothers, they give it till the teenage years, some of them till they debutante on the 18, some of them until they're 20, some of them when they get married, right? So I think that was embedded in me, that when I see people coming into the organization, so I'm a talent acquisition
Yes.
as a profession. So when I come and hire people who are Emiratis, I tell them about what to expect in a corporate culture, how to deal with expat people, how to find their position or their footing in a foreign space, right? Because I'm an Emirati and I share my personal experience with them so that they can succeed in that area.
Right.
Now, when I hire expats, especially those who are coming from abroad, this and that, I put extra effort in them. So what I do is I explain about the company, all the business information. However, I add a personal culture element into it. Right? This is what you need to do. This is how our culture speak. What does it mean like this? What are the Arabic phrases? What is this? What is the do's and don'ts? But from an Emirati perspective, not what you get from Google or from the books, because
Agreed.
It's written by an expat.
Agreed.
Right? So when that happens, and then we get into the after the hiring, everyone is involved. Hiring manager is involved, the HRBP are involved, TA is involved, and we all take care of that person. From day one they enter till the onboarding, we monitor the onboarding into 6 months. We look into their performance. We look up to them up to their first year in the organization.
Right.
So they felt like, oh, we're not alone. We're seen. So that's the human element, because human will always need connection.
True.
They need to build a society, a community. And who's the first person they actually meet at the organization is TA.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
So
the
TA
first phase.
is not a transactional job, bring CV, interview, and that's it. No. If you want to make sure that you're optimizing the process correctly, if you want it transactional, then broaden the role of a TA to take care of the candidate and amplify the candidate experience. Now, if you want to add a real human experience, which is what we call talent experience, not candidate experience, talent experience, the TA will be with this talent from day one when they're calling them or sourcing them, till they complete at least the first or second year of university, so on and so forth. That's the entire candidate and talent experience, not TA experience.
Very interesting. So you're not just going behind offer acceptance, but you're going 1 year down the line.
Yes. And that's what made successful in a lot of my journey in a lot of the organization, because I took ownership of onboarding, because onboarding is always neglected.
Yeah.
So my goal was, let's look at the onboarding, let's work on the content of it, let's work on how we integrate them and make people feel seen, right? After that, we also monitor their probation. We check in how, this, that. We speak to the line manager. We speak to the HRBPs. How are things going on? Casually, we meet them. So that individual, if they have any question, they couldn't approach their HRBP, or they couldn't approach their team for whatever reason, they come to us.
Yeah.
And when they come to us, we make sure we connect them. So we connect them to the people within the organization so that they can build their own bond and move forward.
Agreed.
But it's really important to check in to ensure that everything is okay. Because if you do that constantly, any unforeseen issue can be resolved ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because you know how costly it is to hire.
Oh. Tell me about it. That's been one of those things. Now, we're still in that introduction of setting up the whole conversation, and it opened my eyes. And I don't know how soon you're going to go public with it and tell people about what is really happening in an organization. Is there a message that you want to give the TA, the HR, the HRBPs, the onboarding guys? What do you want to tell them in this age of everything somehow trying to be taken over by machines, or even somebody wanting to not think too much but use GPT or Claude to go back and find an answer? What's the message that you want to give the current HR teams that are out there, that guys, wake up? Or I don't know if the wake up is the word, but what do you want to say to the HR folks?
Stop the blame. Take a step back. Identify the root cause. You cannot be always reactive. If you need to challenge the management, you need to challenge the board, do so. Mm-hmm. Right? You need to relook on how you're looking at your data. Mm-hmm. Because it's not about time to hire, cost of hire, and NPS. It's more than that. How many have you retained? How many have you developed? How much benefit have they developed?
True.
How many have you promoted, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, then that's the true value of your role as a human resource professional.
True.
Whether in TA or whatever. For hiring managers, for any expats who are going to be working with Emiratis or with the locals, right? Take a step back. Forget about professionalism and corporate life. Understand the country that you're living in. Don't go to any, I would say, institution or Google it or ChatGPT, right? Don't take the information from there. Connect with the people, because the moment you connect with them, the moment they welcome you into their community, you'll understand certain values. Because how can you enter a house without understanding the ground rules of that house?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is my message for the community, because the reason why I started this whole research, there was always a back and forth blame.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough Emiratis. We have to hire Emiratis. We have this. People don't stay. They come here because they only want salary, so on and so forth. But one question you need to ask them, why is that?
Yeah.
And then here, everyone is silent.
Yeah.
We don't know, because Emiratis, they found another job, or because they're looking for a better opportunity. What type of opportunity?
Correct.
Right? And I'm Emirati. I'm frustrated. I'm not saying everyone is great. Everyone has their goods and bad. But we need to understand why.
That's true.
Because if you need to solve a problem, you need to at least ask why 5 times.
100%.
Right?
Why? I agree.
But they're always stuck in the number, only one why.
Yeah.
And that's it. But they never understand the root cause. So when we start this research, it was funny when I saw the data. And
Correct.
I'm like, wow.
I know.
That's the big why that we need to answer now.
Yeah, absolutely. It opened my eyes as well, right? So, and I'm like, whoa, this is, for example, with the little world that we live in, mm-hmm. we think we know everything. Mm-hmm. And, you and I have known each other for such a long time.
Yes.
In its first year of NAFIS, we got the award. Best company to hire Emiratis. Yeah, I shouldn't have hired that many. That was my mistake. But then, because I still remember that saying, who told you to hire so many, right? You should have just hired how much you needed so that you can continue to do that because your denominator became higher. But anyways, that's a learning. Even at that point of time, I went to a few people and I said, what do you people talk in the majlis? Do you talk about private sector? And then I learned from it. And then I hired better people from it. That was just something that had to happen only because I wanted to get deeper into not just hiring graduates, but that's just an example on how deeper we need to get to understanding the culture, right? There was one person that we lost. Why are you leaving? No, in the Majlis, people don't talk about this company very well. That matters. That matters to you folks, right? Because that is a culture on how uncles and aunties and everybody is talking about in Majlis about the place that you're working in, right?
And this is where, this is the weapon I always use when I'm in the private sector.
Right.
It's not about the cost of hire and then if we lose the candidate, that's it.
Right.
Right? It's actually beyond that. And this is something we can take to the board. You want financial impact? You want to worry about your business for the future and you want to secure certain things. You may see this individual as an Emirati, regardless what's the role, right? They have bad experience. You know how small our community is? We're just 12% of the entire population.
It is, yeah.
And everyone is related to someone, right?
Yep.
And when we talk, we are very passionate and emotional individuals when we talk about something that we hate.
Right.
Right? So bad experience, bad reputation, that goes on with the family. And those family, they're connected to maybe government. They have their own businesses. They have their own connections. That word travel fast.
Yeah.
It's slow, but it goes very quietly and very fast. And you know what happens later on? Businesses who really wants to invest in talent will not get the best talent. Because the reputation is bad, people will talk about it, and even if it goes up to particular authorities, sometimes you might be in the radar.
Yeah.
Right? Because of that one mistake.
Correct.
You didn't develop them, you didn't retain them, you didn't communicate with them, you didn't treat them as human talents.
Yeah, I agree. Now, let's go into a section 2, which is talking about the survey. Man, it was an eye-opener. Really, I think, thank you so much. I don't know why nobody's ever thought about doing this. It opened my eyes to a lot of things that you worked on. So I want to give you that entire stage. I want you to explain it from your eyes on what you found, why you wanted to do it. Go for it. Let's just talk about this section is all about that findings that we had from, and like I said, right, it actually shocked me. It's like, are we doing this? Unconsciously, consciously, I don't know, but we're doing something very wrong. So, take it away.
Sure, thank you. So, it all started on coffee session. So, I'm meeting... So, the person who actually worked with me on this research is Jackie Young.
Yeah.
She's my partner on this particular project. So, it all started from coffee, being introduced. She wanted to know more about the Emirati culture and talents, etc. And I understood her perspective because she's also a talent professional in HR.
Yep.
We started bantering ideas. And I said, you know what? Let's do a research. Let's understand the root cause so that we as a consultant company can come up with the best program, not just for the Emirati talent, but also for the organizations, whether they're hiring managers or whether they're HRs, right? So we were looking at 6 dimensions.
Right.
So we're looking at the work readiness, onboarding, psychological safety, manager capability, career progression, as well as cultural alignment.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So these are the 6 dimensions we looked at. Now we said, okay, it's fair enough to choose these 6 so that once we run the survey, we need to understand which of these 6 is actually affecting amortization perceptions, right? And funny enough, none of these 6 dimensions aligned between the perspective of HR and line managers and Emirati talents.
Wow.
None of them. The biggest factor I looked into that no one actually speaks about is psychological safety. People thought about career progression. Actually, it's not that big of significance. And we were like, oh, wow, why? So we did a lot of the analysis. So we have done the Pearson analysis, the correlation analysis, the regression analysis. And the numbers spoke volume.
Yep, it did.
Right?
It did.
So HR and line manager, they believe they have a nice, they have a system, they have a process. It's very tactical focus. But then they actually living it.
Yeah.
The Emirati talents who are living it.
Yeah.
They say otherwise.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the NPS.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a false perception between the two. Now, how can we fix it? We can look and we can dig deeper into it, depending on what are the focus for the organization is. But then we need to understand that it's not about the money. It's not about also the career progression. It's making or starting right and then sustain it for a long term if you want that Emirati talent to be happy in the organization. Right? And that is the true essence of our purpose.
Got it.
So me and Jackie were like, oh, wow. We didn't expect this. We thought that people would be, they would align at some dimension. None. And psychological safety was like, why do Emiratis not feel safe in these organizations?
Let's talk more about that, right? These are large organizations. These have been here for hundreds and fifties of years. Then why doesn't an Emirati feel safe in these organizations? Why is there that psychological safety that something is not right?
That's also the question I was asking. So that's where I dug deeper when it came to qualitative feedback. And when I read through the comments, it's quite astonishing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So earlier I mentioned that Emiratis, they come in that their team are not aware about their existence.
Right.
Or they were hired and what's their role. So there was a confusion. Now this is where you see there's a miscommunication or there is no communication at all between HR and hiring.
True.
Right?
True.
Or the hiring team. Number 2 is the fear of being taken over.
Explain that.
So some of the comments said that some expats, they fear that they're losing their job because an Emirati has come in. They feel like they are forced to train them and develop them to take over their role.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And this is from an Emirati perspective because we don't know, there's no communication, there's no relationship happening that to understand why there's negligence.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Number 3, the third comment that shocked me is one of the participants wrote, my manager and my team went out for lunch and they asked me to stay back.
Yeah, I saw that comment and I'm like, yeah.
It's a team lunch.
Yeah.
And why should that person stay back? And if I recall it correctly, stay back so you can learn. Learn what if everyone is away?
Away, correct. What are you even telling to that person? Just imagine what that person would have gone through in their head, right?
Yeah.
It's like my entire team went. I'm not invited. That's the first thing. Second thing is stay back and learn. What am I learning? What am I learning that I'm going to be told to stay back? And this was not a small organization. I'm like, oh, something is not right? Yeah. See, I think it's human nature. Yeah, I've been there. In my career, when somebody said, you're going to have a new manager, then I started blocking it because I didn't want the manager to know more than I did. This is way back, and then I became a better person, actually. It's like when you share more is when you get better.
Yes. But this is what you say. You had a new manager, but you're
But this
getting a
is
junior,
employee.
an
Yeah.
employee.
Yeah. This is
Right?
different.
So this is a very different conversation. Like, you need to invest in that person. You need to teach that person. You need to do this. You need to do that. And, out of all the participants, only one had a positive feedback about their line manager.
Yep.
And they called it luck.
Wow.
She's lucky. And I'm like, oh my God. Out of all the participants, only one had a good experience.
Yeah.
Now, every organization, we have, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. But is it in your policy, or do you actually do it in practice?
Exactly.
How do you measure it?
Right. Nobody measures it.
No one talks about it.
It's only male and female measurement.
Yes, that's diversity. And then we add on emeritization.
Emeritization.
That's
right.
it.
That's it.
But then what do we do?
Correct.
Actual work.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It saddens me, and I think, yes, psychological safety is something that Emirati face as an issue in the private sectors. But what is the root cause of that?
Yeah.
Manager capability. HR can maybe do a transactional work. Fine.
Right.
Doable.
Right.
But that individual, where are they going to be spending a lot of time? Under whose leadership? The manager.
Managers.
So if the manager doesn't train or doesn't develop, doesn't give that TLC to that individual, and they feel discriminated, the whole psychological safety is going to be impacted.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Career progression, 0. I will not see myself getting progressed. I actually want to get out because I do not want to work with this individual. Right? So, and manager capability, no one wants to talk about it. Because for HR, no, I hired the best talent.
Yep. Yeah.
But they will not admit, like, oh my God, this talent is horrible, this talent. It's always behind closed door where HR to HR, they talk about each other to a certain individual who's a manager that we got, we have a conflict resolution that we need to do, and we've seen X number of cases happening to this particular individual. But what does the board say? No, leave him, he makes us money.
Yeah.
How many times we heard that?
We have heard that many, many times. Yes,
right?
yes.
So we need to cover. And that is something I do not appreciate. But sometimes we have to suck it up, and the board says so. Let's just keep it up. Right? But then, who had the courage to actually speak to that manager and say, this is what people say about you. This is the issue. How can we fix it? Not blame, but coach.
Yeah.
Have a conversation. Be open. Why do you act the way you do? Because that particular thing will not hinder only Emiratis, but a lot of other employees within the same team will feel the same.
True.
Favoritism is there.
True.
Modern day slavery would be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Discrimination would be there because I prefer this, I prefer that, the differentiation in relationship will be there because, and again, that's again discrimination because maybe that person is a friend of my friend. Being biased.
Yeah, being biased. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or nepotism or X or Y, this and that. We all face it.
Yeah.
Right? But then are we aware about it?
Yeah.
Because if we don't fix that manager capability, your culture will not be aligned. You will not have a safe psychology in that environment. You will never have a career progression or motivate or aspire to career and progress in your organization. And you'll keep losing people and you'll keep hiring people.
Correct.
On a cycle.
Correct. And then we'll fight about when to let them go so that we don't have to cancel their pensions. And like, it's a whole cycle all over.
It's a whole cycle. But then no one dares to speak to the manager. Because capability is key. And sometimes they don't train them properly.
But tell me one thing. I've heard we're like what? So many years into NAFIS and the Emiratization, when we started the 2%, we're soon going to be hitting the 10% mark. Even after so many years, are you saying the HR folks are only focused on hiring and not doing anything else after that? I think some of us have got the hiring part right. Because what I'm thinking is, I've heard about buddy program. Is it working, not working? We don't know. We heard about the new manager induction or assimilation program to help Emiratis get inclusive. Working, not working? Clearly not working, because we can see that. So what are people doing? I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, so many years and we didn't get that part right. And every year we are losing people. And I, one thing that I heard is they're just very hungry for money. They just want to keep jumping jobs. That's the feedback that I've heard. And I'm like, no, I have an Emirati who I hired in 2021 is still in that same organization. I don't think they are hungry and hopping jobs. What is your view on this?
My view on this is, again, people focus on the word compliance. That's the trigger point.
Yes.
But they'll not look at how we look at it from a different way. There's no retention. There's no development. How can we actually invest? Huge investment goes to the top talent. But they're always what? At the leadership and managerial role.
Correct.
How many Emiratis are in the managerial role? In private sectors.
Yeah. Very, very little. I have not seen any of them getting hired. Yeah.
I was in the private sector.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm the only Emirati, or we're just 3 of us who are in the management role.
Correct.
And sometimes we feel like we have a special treatment, right?
Yes.
This is the training that you can go. This is the development you can do. This is that, only for Emiratis.
Yeah.
But there's only one organization that till now I admire, because they haven't seen us as Emirati. They saw us as talent. We are equal like everyone else, and we went to the same program like everyone else, right? So that's inclusivity.
Yes.
Yes, some people might be happy, I had a privilege that I'm in Emirati, I'm being treated very differently. No, that is actually going to cause friction.
Yeah.
Treat them as how you're treating the development plan for all the employees.
I've heard this. Yes, 100%.
Right? Because if you do that, people will start to be like, okay, in order for me to do that, I will need to perform like this. I need to achieve like this. Right? So there should be discipline. There should be training. There should be equality.
Correct.
Right? I'll give you a very nice example. We have gone into this geopolitical tension.
Yes, we have.
Right? When you look up into the sky, everything that is being intercepted, who's intercepting it? Young Emirati.
MashaAllah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They intercepted. Target destroyed was the phrase that they used.
Yes.
Right? No one imagined that the UAE will survive this whole tension during that time, because we got the most hit. Most hit across everyone else.
Yep.
Even more than the targeted country.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
So if this young Emirati were able to do that, to save the country and save its people, where His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed said, we are all Emiratis and you are all our accountability.
Correct.
So why do us as managers in the organization not think that way?
Yeah.
We are all Emiratis. You are my accountability. You are my amana. Why can't I teach you? Now, what's the difference between the military and here? Military, they don't care where you're from.
Correct.
You're physically fit. You can this. You get trained. You get development. You get the whole community. You need to understand teamwork. I don't know how to say the word in English properly, because I keep... it's all about camaraderie, something like that.
Camaraderie,
right?
Yes.
That's essential, because the moment you have that respect, that trust, I trust you that you'll perform the job and I'll back you up. That relationship is enforced in the military. Right? And they succeeded in the most highest pressure, because the UAE hasn't been into war.
Yep.
They always helped other countries with needs and support.
100%.
But they never went into this type of interception or this type of conflict that we were in.
Yeah.
But how much they performed made us all proud, and we all say we are all Emiratis and we're living in a very safe country. If they can handle the sky to protect us, why can't you see they can protect the organization?
Such a great example. Right now, even I'm thinking is like, wow, that's such like, when you can handle a missile and intercept it and manage it and keep us all safe and sound. And I'm thinking managers are saying, oh, but they can't do this. Like, what? It's like, what can they not do right now, right? So, such a great, great example. But do you think... so what I'm also wanting to do with that is, is give a little bit of benefit of the doubt to the managers. Is how do we tell them it's okay to hire? They will come. So I've been hiring Emiratis from 2012. When first, I think 2013, I onboarded my first 4 young graduates into IBM. 3 of them left in 24 hours because complete mismatch. One person traveled for about 2 hours from another emirate to come to office every day, but she couldn't keep up for more than 2 weeks, right? And I understand. I think it was too much at that point of time. But we knew how to handle them that time. We knew how to give them work. We knew how to work with them. And I think that I took over from, just for me, I was also a new expat. I just thought, you're another person. I didn't think about anything else, right? But how do we help the managers, Meshael? How do we tell them it's okay? Treat them like anybody else. If you have to go back and give them more work, give them more work. If you have to tell them to stretch, tell them to stretch. But they think they'll not do it. That's where it is coming from, right?
Yes.
So how do we fix that?
Communicate. What's your role as an HRBP? Communicate.
So it's an HR problem, not the manager problem?
Both problems. But how would you start to know what's the problem if you don't have the communication?
I agree. Start there.
Start there. Because, again, now you mentioned about your 2013 experience with the whole Emirati hiring. 2013 wasn't that difficult.
Yeah.
You hire, few numbers and you take your time because the target was very minimal. It wasn't enforced like now.
Yeah, it wasn't enforced at all. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're dealing with the different generation back then. It was millennials, so
Yes.
they're brought up in a different discipline.
Correct.
Right? Technology wasn't advanced back then, right? But now,
things have changed.
as I said, because of the, of the enforcement, 2%, 2%, 2%, and the fee, it triggers that sense of urgency, that let's just hard to close that because it's very number focused. Not the, okay, we will, how many times have you heard, let's just close the target, we'll deal with the rest later. We can find a replacement later.
All the time.
All the time, right? But now, if you want to make this right, maybe start thinking about it this year so that you can apply it next year. Slowly, gradually, start with one department, then slowly, gradually work with the other department. Is have a proper communication. Understand, but don't ask, what is the role that you need? What is this? What is that? It's not a job description, right? You just need to understand the hiring manager. How do they perceive Emiratis? If they say, no, we don't want Emiratis, why don't you want? What is your perception about them?
Yeah.
Right? Have that real talk conversation. Because once you have that real talk conversation, and you make them actually talk to Emiratis, real Emiratis, have a human conversation, not work all the time.
Correct.
Because see, with our Emirati culture, we do not dive into business. We have that's why we say hospitality, right? You say, Salam alaikum. And we ask you probably 10,000 times, how are you? How's the family? How's the life? How is this? How is that?
Exactly.
We go really, we really care about you because we try to understand who you are. And then we talk about business. Right? So people who are managing that, they need to understand that perspective as well. As Emirati, we need that human emotional connection. EQ has to be there, not just your IQ. Right? Sometimes certain words can mean very differently to an Emirati.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Certain phrases, and I heard a lot, during my days as an HR, so many issues that come in. It's just because, certain, especially the British, they have a lot of phrases that they say that connects to an animal, for example.
Right?
I can't recall the actual phrase. Some Emiratis, they get offended because they don't even understand. They said, are they insulting me? I did this, I did that. So this is what do you say about, there's a cultural differences, but no one actually talks about it. I knew a lot of people, they spent already 25, 30 years in the UAE. they don't even know the basic...
They're not exposed to it, no.
They're not exposed, but they don't even make an effort.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're living in a country, you are still living with the same community. If you are a British, then you're with your British community. If you are let's say an Indian, you sometimes stuck with your Indian community. If
100%.
you're Asian, then you're with Asian community.
Yeah.
But then when they see an Emirati, and I've seen this a lot, by the way, even if you go to a certain places, when they see an Emirati, you see that, oh,
yeah.
They walk away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But there's a different persona in people's head. Yes, our country are taking care of us. But think about it. We're the minority. So it's obvious that the country will take care of us, will give us, that special treatment. It's because we're few.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's a big issue because we're not even producing more people in the country.
I like that, okay?
That's why we call it the year of family now, right?
Correct.
And we're doing so much. But try to get to know us.
Yeah.
Understand us so that you know how to deal with us. If you go to Japan, or China, first thing you have to learn is their business etiquette.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, people actually study documents before they go there.
Yes.
Don't present in red, don't do this, don't give them a pen. There's a big document people actually read before they actually travel to Japan or China.
Some countries, if you go to Europe, Germany, for example, you need to speak the language.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I worked for a French company. I am forced to learn French.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm Emirati. They're here in the UAE, but I had to learn their culture as well.
I agree.
So, and because we're very very tolerated with all the culture, we keep it open. But one thing that you can do as a personal investment for you to be able to work here successfully and understand and work with the locals and citizens, try to learn our culture. Try to learn our etiquettes. Try to learn our language. Because this will open doors of opportunity. Maybe friendship for a lifetime. Right? Maybe, good reputation because you don't need to source anymore. Oh, wait, I'll bring my friends, I'll bring this, I'll go
it works magic.
It works magic.
It works magic, yes.
Yeah, you close your quota like this, then everyone is happy because what? People spoke very positively of you.
Yeah.
So, keyword to fix this, speak to the manager to understand what are they feeling about and how we can fix it.
Yeah.
And I always say this, we always need an Emirati in HR, senior Emirati, in any private organization, because they're going to be your cultural ambassador.
True.
I haven't seen many organizations, I haven't seen Emiratis in HR management. They're always in the junior level. And they're not given...
Or either very senior level.
Even on a manager level.
But there's nobody there, right? Yeah,
they have
right.
people who are HR officers.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But they're not given them accountability or... they're not given accountability or take any lead role. Right? They're always an HR officer. And what do? Administrative work.
Yeah.
Right? Or they're TA, just sourcing. But I haven't, if they invest, instead of calling them amortization manager, call them HR. So that they're not just focused on Emiratis, because when you say amortization, immediately your only focus is hiring Emiratis, developing Emiratis, dealing with the Emiratis.
Correct.
That's where you create discrimination.
Correct.
Call them HR.
Call them HR, absolutely.
HR, part of the role is amortization, but part of the role is not hiring and focusing on Emiratis, but having that conversation with an expat line manager to understand their worries. Not argue with them, because, I know some people, because Emiratis are very patriotic.
Of course, absolutely, 100%.
And very, very, again, I told you, very emotional.
Yeah.
They're very triggered. But have that conversation. Make them be more familiar. What about the culture, Make them understand the mindset of Emiratis.
Yeah.
So that they understand how to deal and be their support at least for 6 months. If the new hire is in that department, be there for 6 months to support them.
Agreed.
Not just them, also the line manager.
Agreed. Are you getting along? That could be one of the questions. How can we help you? How can we get this relationship better? But tell me one thing. Why are we hiring only graduate?
I'll tell you why. Cheapest cost. It could be because they have a standard, how much are they getting paid? 15 to 20?
14, 15 is the number, plus the NAF is
plus the NAF
contribution, yes.
Right? More bougie organization might go to 20 to 25, some of them.
Right.
Right? But that's the easiest standard they can find. I don't need to worry. I just need to know what's their major. If they're engineering, what type of engineering, place them there. Marketing, place them here. It's easy. All I care about is the personality. So they don't invest time to actually get to know the people. I know some of the organizers. I was shocked. All they do, they invite many Emiratis, do a psychometric testing.
Okay.
Suddenly, everyone in HR is a psychologist and psychometric expert, where they read, oh, no, this is yes. Hello, that document is not going to be the final decision maker. You still need to interview the candidates.
Correct.
Hire this, hire that.
Right.
Right? And because you have more talents, right? You just get connected with the universities. I need this graduate, you get it.
Yeah, but then we'll run out of that pool also very soon, right?
We will.
I think we're not going to have enough graduate pool. I'm like, how much will you hire graduates?
Exactly. Like, people do not understand, like, how much graduates are you going to deal? Like, forget Emiratization. If you go to other countries, right? Let's talk about hospitality. They focus a lot on internship.
Yeah.
Cheapest.
Right.
They can also train them and then move them in different areas. Of their hotels, right?
Correct.
The hospitality business.
Correct.
Like was in some other industry. I don't want to take the headache to look for a specialist or headhunt them. No. I want a cheap. Let me take an intern. Some of the interns are not even paid.
True.
Right?
Yep, I've
Make
seen
them
that.
work 3, 6, 1 year, unpaid.
I've seen that.
And okay, we like them. We'll hire them to this role.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think whoever came up with this concept of hiring, they said, you know what? We'll do it like how we do with the internship.
Yeah.
Hire Emiratis. We'll figure out later how to deal with them.
Correct.
But no, that's why when at the beginning of our conversation, and this is what I always do, I always say no if the manpower plan, there's a section only for Emirati hiring.
Yeah.
I remove that. Put it across all the vacancies.
Got it.
We have 300 vacancies.
All 300
vacancies
should
will be open to Emirati. And
Correct.
because I was introducing it, I forced my recruiters, each role at least give me 1 or 2 Emiratis.
Correct.
And I need the reason why they're being rejected.
Correct. Absolutely. So it can't be easy solved, right?
It can't be easy solved.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, 100%. But tell me one thing. In the industry that we are in and in the country that we are in, not only the top 5% is the big brands or the big Fortune 500 or whatever, right? The big MNCs. Then we've got the large sector, which is the family-owned businesses, the private-owned businesses. And then we've got a lot of other things that are happening in between: hospitality, healthcare, insurance. I've heard Emiratis does not want to work in insurance. I'm like, why? Have you asked them? Nobody's asked with them. No, I don't know why they don't want to work. I'm like, don't make up assumptions like this. No, that I've heard a lot of stigmas like this. But from your point of view, does anybody, like, for example, warehouse. Now, warehouse doesn't mean you'll stock the shelf, but what I'm saying is you've got to do audits in warehouse. Now, this is a real example. One of the big fours that I used to work for said, Javeed, I can't hire an Emirati because one of the client wants me to have Emiratis go and work in the warehouses to audits, and I don't know how am I going to make them do because it's very difficult. I was like, why are you creating that stigma? Have you seen issues like this where people don't want to work in certain things?
There is. Right. But I think now it's different. They're more open. Like the Emirati communities are more open. So I would give you a clear example. In the past, hospitality, for example, for Emirati culture, no, you're not working in hospitality.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's disgraceful. It's this, it's that. I heard in the retail, I don't want my son or daughter to work in a retail shop and then my friends or family would see them.
Yes,
Right?
I've heard that. Yes.
I've seen that. Now, how can we change it? We cannot all fit everyone in the administration department. We cannot fit everyone in the management. We cannot fit everyone in this and that department, right? We need to start doing awareness. The This is what we have in the market. This is how we need to develop our talents. This is how we need to open our eyes and our horizon, that they cannot always be in the field of their specialty.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
We need to explore other areas.
Correct.
Now, what is the best time to do that? Now. After this whole conflict, how many expats fled?
Oh. Tell me about it. That was another eye-opener, right? Absolutely, yes.
Now, when they flee, do you have an Emirati who actually to take over that role?
No.
Not
Nobody's
all.
done the succession planning on that way. Yeah.
Exactly. Because their critical role is, I have this, replaced with this. And now if they're both expats, both of them left, that poor Emirati who's junior, they also neglect him. No, we need to find a replacement. And say, khalas, if you don't have more expat talent, what would you do?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So this is again the manpower planning. When you're doing all of this in the succession planning, make sure you have a successor who's an Emirati.
Yeah.
Because God forbid, then inshallah nothing happens to this country, when expats are needing to leave the country,
We still got to
we
run this
still
country.
have Emiratis to run the business.
Correct.
Right. Now for the family business, the private sectors, I think this is why NAFIS and the government are pushing our Emiratis to work in these areas, because they need to increase the number of Emiratis. They need to actually solve the unemployment ratio.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard that the Ministry of Human Resources and I think the other HR authorities under the government, they're calling Emiratis. They're checking. Are you employed, unemployed? How many months you're not employed? What are your field? Da-da-da. And they collect their information because they want to make sure every Emirati has a job.
Yep. Right? I know about, but I work with them very closely with this. I've heard that there is an A list, B list, and so on and so forth. There's a list that gets prepared where people need to get helped.
In that case, we saw a lot of Emiratis who work in a warehouse. When I was in Dubai Metro, when it all started back in 2009, we thought, oh my God, we're not going to get station agents, customer service of Emiratis. And it was only me and my manager. So we were only 2 Emiratis. We were told you have to hire 300 Emiratis in 2 days.
Yeah.
So we did a big announcement. And boy, we didn't expect the number of people coming to that interview in 3 days. It was including weekend. People even from Oman came.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They traveled. And we had to hire. And Emirati is like, I don't mind. I'll be wearing, because we have uniforms. I don't mind. I'll be wearing the uniform. We have shift. I don't mind. I'll be wearing shift. Why? Why do you want to work for the Dubai Metro? Because it's a brand of the UAE.
Of course.
I want to be part of something big that I can have it on my CV. I work for a railway, which is the first metro in the UAE. Again, very patriotic.
Very patriotic.
They don't
absolutely.
care. They'll do it.
Yeah.
Now, I heard also people say they don't want to be mechanics. But we have even women in the car mechanic.
Of course.
Aviation, we have one of my best friends.
Yeah.
She used to be in mechanic in the aviation industry.
This brings me to another point. Who is going to tell the larger world about all these stories? Like, this is the first time I'm hearing about you telling me that one of your friends is a mechanic. That's so amazing to hear, right? Until unless it's glorified, meaning a lady astronaut or a lady XYZ. But why aren't we doing enough to tell a lot of other normal 1% of our population is also doing a lot of many other things? Why are we only glorifying the glorified jobs and not glorifying the non-glorified jobs? How do we tell the market that yes, there are people doing all of this?
Well, for the organizations who's doing all their marketing department, stop focusing on, glorifying the glorified jobs. Focus on the unglorified jobs. Some of the big family companies, they have people who's working in the customer center. They have people working as a cashier.
Yeah.
Why don't you feature them?
Yeah, I agree. Why don't we do that?
Very less that they're being seen in social media. Oh, we have Emirati women. They will only focus on...
Yeah.
There was a place, I got so irritated in this place. They had a project. The criteria, Emirati, women, middle management, performance has to be like this, good English spoken, blah, blah. I'm like, hello? I'm an employee. I will speak whatever I want to speak. Why are you giving me criteria? It's not a job.
Right.
At least pay me if I'm going to do and fit that criteria, right? How about the people in the junior level?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We have Emiratis lady who are PRO. Why they're not featured? Right? We have ladies who are typists.
Yeah.
Why they're not featured?
Yeah.
Government does that. Why don't the private sector do that? Right? What you call patient care.
Yeah. I've seen it. Absolutely, yes.
I went, I had an injury on my foot, right? So I went to this hospital and I was really happy to see that the person who took my vitals is an Emirati guy and he's a nurse.
MashaAllah. Yeah.
Right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, it's something that I'll be proud of. The reception. There's a lot of Emiratis in the reception area. Why they're not being featured?
Yeah.
Put the focus on them. Let them share their experience. Let them be the brand ambassador, not your management or senior role.
True.
Those people so that they can actually inspire others that it's okay.
Agreed. I did one program with one of the government authorities wherein it was a CSR for me. But we just wanted to do it. So that government department came and said, I will bring the people, but you just need to help me train them. I said, okay, what are we talking about? These women are divorced, but have some kind of a degree. They might not even have, I'm talking Northern Emirates, not really from major mainline Emirates like Dubai or Abu Dhabi, but train them, Javed. Tell them, give them some confidence on they can do the jobs. That cohort was 68 people. And I'm like, wow, this is a big source of talent for me. I was thinking about what and all I can do with that group is like place them in receptions. I can place them everywhere. There's so much that they can do. But our people want baked talent coming out of high universities, not with gaps. That stigma needs to break.
Yeah, if you start labeling from that 12% for our population, how much more can you get?
Yeah.
We need to stop labeling people. Oh, they need to be this or they need to be that. Time out.
Yeah.
We're 12%.
Yeah.
That 12%, 10% people are already working.
Yeah.
You need to focus on the Gen Z now.
Yeah, I agree.
Or this or that. But then we need to remove that and say, let's look at the talent.
Just that. Yeah, nothing else.
If they are capable, they have the potential, train.
Yeah.
No one comes in the door 100%.
True.
Right? Even if they're not 70%, 50% is good, 40% is good.
Yeah.
They have the potential, they have the motivation, they have the eagerness, do it.
Right.
I'll give you an example. One of the organizations, so we're based in Dubai, and they need to open up a call center. And all Arabic speakers. I said, wait. I will not hire Arabic speaker. Let's do something. Let's partner with the government. We will open in Northern Emirates so that we extend the opportunity to Northern Emirates.
True.
Right?
True.
The cost will be much cheaper for
Correct.
us as well because there's a support from the government. They will be paying for the office and whatever else. We will just offer their technology and the salary.
Correct. Correct.
We interviewed a lot in the Northern Emirates, Fujairah to be specific. We recruited and we even found a manager who's in Emirati. So they're full on Emiratis. The only difference that we did, by the way, each emirate had a different culture, very tradition and different values. So we understood the culture over there. And they're all women. We said, okay, their working hours will be shorter.
Agreed.
Than the one who is based in Dubai.
Correct.
Right? We made them work part-time. So they cover the morning shift. They cover the morning. We gave them choices. You cover the morning shift, you get part-time salary, which is 50% of the actual salary. If you do the full, you get the full salary.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
You take the morning shift, all the Arabic calls will come to you. Any other calls will be shifted to Dubai.
Correct.
It went so successful, and I believe this was back in 2016. Till now, as we speak, when I pass by, when we have this career fair or events, when I pass by and see them, I'm so proud because they got out of customer service.
Yeah.
or call center agent, and they went to other areas.
Correct.
And even that manager of that call center, she is now an HR and hiring Emiratis.
MashaAllah.
So when I see her and she looks at me, she's like, thanks to you. You believed in us, and I got better. She didn't have a very strong English communication back then. Now, mashallah.
Yeah.
Right? So people invested in them.
Yeah.
Believed in them. So you need to have a visionary HR.
Absolutely.
I had a vision for them, and when I communicated to the management and they invested in them, I'm so happy to see the fruit of my vision coming to life after how many years have passed.
Oh, you have to invest. I agree. And I think, people need to start thinking beyond Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Yes. We have a lot of opportunities in Northern Emirates, even the outskirts of Abu Dhabi, like Baniyas. Because, we need to be flexible, because not all of them can be traveling every now and then.
Yeah.
Majority will be women, because the men, they end up working for the oil and gas industry, working in the military, so they know their source of income will be where it's going, right? For the women, their study, some of them, they actually finish a degree.
Yeah, I know, of course.
Especially those who are based in Al Ain or Baniyas, they couldn't travel to Dubai. They couldn't get into a job. They couldn't, مثلا, travel from Al Ain to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Because family restriction, they cannot travel alone, they have to do this, they have to do that. I know some of the organizations, they actually built remote working, part-time opportunities. Hire some of them, give them the
laptop
and everything. You need to have trust.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
Right? You need to have trust. And give them the accountability, measure them, you see that they have flexibility, because that's a two-way introduction. Introducing yourself to deal with someone from that particular region, and for them to introduce the job to their family, because if they see that there's growth and development, the family will support them to grow. If they become, they got transferred to another department, slowly and gradually might coming to the office. So it's a perfect combination and formula to tap in to those talents.
Yeah. And I so agree. Trust is such a thing, right? At Tidy Hire, 32 people, everybody working remote. I don't even know where they are. I know they work. Bolt, which is one of the other car, they are 100% remote.
Yes.
So I don't know why we have to worry about they have to come to office. People might say, oh yeah, but you do different kind of work. But at the end of it, you work. We worked remotely 100% during COVID.
Yes. Why can't we do it now?
Why are we not thinking of Northern Emirates of Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Al Ain or whatever? Give them that opportunity to work. It helps you. That's talent. You can't keep attracting talent in one place. Coming back to the survey, and we talked about, right, the pointers that we clearly talked about was work readiness. And I think which is very clear to understand that why HR things are graduates only. We covered that. We covered onboarding, simulation, integration, having the proper onboarding and everything else. So I think we're coming to the end of everything. Manager capability was the biggest part of our discussion. Cultural alignment, career clarity, psychological safety. Have we not talked about anything else? What should be our closing on this topic, and what should the HR be doing to focus on what we should do right now? And what's your last comments?
My last comment on this is, again, take a step back, understand the whole concept of your role when it comes to Emiratization.
True.
Right? Don't be tactical. Do not be process oriented. Because everyone believes they have a great system, but how is it being perceived by the end user?
True.
Right? Look at Emiratis as any other talent. When you're hiring an intern from Switzerland or from France or from the US, what do you look into them? Why do you invest more time selecting the right talent and you invest in them?
Correct.
Why don't you follow that same concept when it comes to an Emirati?
Yep.
Right? Go beyond fresh graduate.
Go beyond fresh graduates. I agree.
Right? Go beyond fresh graduate. Go beyond the glorified roles.
Yeah.
Look at every single level. Look at every single field. Have the benefit of the doubt that maybe if I find an Emirati who wants to be in a cashier. Don't say no. Look for them.
Yeah.
Right? I need to give them, invest in their development, not just hiring, not just salary. Invest in their development, but also invest in building your relationship with them.
True.
Because that's the only thing that you can break that tension between an expat and Emirati, right? You need to understand that you have fear that an Emirati might come and take your role, but also an Emirati has a fear that they will never grow in their own country because you are there.
True.
So you need to break that stigma. And it starts within us. And
I
if
agree.
it doesn't start within us, I request for every HR professional and line manager, start within yourself.
That's true.
Invest in that.
I agree.
And then once you invest in that relationship and their development, be grateful and be more appreciative. Because even if that talent left, at least they're leaving with a good experience. And they will bring you better talents into your organization.
I agree. Small story to end that is when I sat down with the Emiratis saying, guys, we need to hire more Emiratis, it was a game changer for me. It was not that I was alone in solving the problem. I had my own colleagues in that organization coming together to solve the problem. So I think that inclusivity really helps. So great points. Thank you very much. And I think, folks, there you have it. This is what we do at TidyTalks. Bold talks. We do everything under the sun. We want to tell you what's working, what's not working, how it can improve. So stay connected. Follow us. Any parting comments to the world? Anything that you want to give as a message?
We are all Emiratis, so act like one.
Yeah, I love that president statement that we are not just one or two of us are Emiratis. We are all Emiratis. And I think this is our home. And I don't think that's going to change for us, right?
Yes.
So, Meshael, thank you very much.
Thank
Your
you,
sister,
Javeed.
you're the best. Keep doing the great work. Keep bringing on more service like this and keep opening our eyes. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.